Can you repeat that, please?
There's two ways to know Shirk al-Asghar. First one is it has to be mentioned in the Quran or in the Hadith that it's Shirk. Number two, it has to be mentioned in the Quran and Hadith that it's not Shirk al-Akbar in some way or some form. That's how we know Shirk al-Asghar. Other than that, it would be Shirk al-Akbar. Okay, now the kinds of Riya. The first Riya, the classifications. The first Riya is physical Riya. You know how that is? Like some guy going and pretending he's weak. And he's doing that in the purpose of what?
Somebody can help him.
No.
Gain sympathy.
For what? To show that he's fasting. You know, his lips are dry and he's trying to make it obvious his lips are dry and he's made to let other people. Why? Just so people can know that. Or he's showing, you know, you guys go play and he doesn't want to play. And he wants you to ask him, why aren't you playing? So you can, well, I'm fasting. He wants to make it obvious in some physical appearance. Or he gets up and he makes his face in some way or somehow yellowish. You know, doesn't take care of himself. And the reason he does that, he wants people to think he prays all night long and he makes salah all night long and he worships Allah all night long. Or he doesn't comb his hair. And the reason he doesn't comb his hair, he wants to make people think that all he's worried about is the Muslims and Islam and the causes of Islam. These are categories that the scholar said is among the Riya. So basically all falls under physical Riya. The second one is the Riya in appearance. The first one is physical. The second one is in appearance. Like wearing thick clothes or clothes that are all stitched up and say, why? Well, all I care about is Islam and all I've been doing is praying at night. Or like the Sufis do, they work very, very, very thick clothing, some of them in a way to show off. So the second one, and the reason they do that, a lot of people would do that, is to show zuhud. Zuhud means that you're careless of this life and you're among the people of the life after. Some of this stuff may be good, but the point about it is you should know this so you'll avoid the riya in these matters. The third one is in saying, and that's like reciting Quran, verbal, anything verbal. You start doing dhikr so people can say, wallah, you're doing dhikr. You start moving your lips so people can think you're doing dhikr. You take a Quran and you start reading. The next one is, what's the next one? It's the obvious. We took physical, we took appearance, we took saying, actions, like salah. The next one is riya in friendship. For example, I'm a bum and I hang around with good people sometimes. Why? To show people, well, look, this guy, he is good. Because his friends are sheikhs. But he does it not to learn or benefit. He does it so people can say that he's good. These are any riya that you have is going to fall under one of these 5 categories. Why we mention them? So you can stay away from them. Okay, we got one last point. What is it going to be? What's it going to be? It's obvious.
Just ways of staying away from it.
Cure. The cure. What's the cure for riya? The best and most cure? Dua. Number 1 is dua. That right there. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika an ushrika bika wa ana a'lam wa astaghfiruka lima la a'lam. Number 2. Who can tell me something for cure? Do your deeds in secrecy. Do your deeds in secrecy unless you have to do them in public. Do your deeds in secrecy. Like, you know, first that point is do your deeds in secrecy. The second one is do a lot of the deeds that no one knows about. Like, for example, let me give you an example of the second one. Second one is, I'm going to the masjid. The masjid has a lot of people there. I have the choice between praying the 2 dhuhr rak'ahs in the masjid, or I have the choice of praying those 2 rak'ahs in my house. Which one should I do? If you want to kill riyah, or you're in the process of killing that disease within you, you pray them over here instead of the masjid, so people don't know. The third point is, do the deeds that are usually done in secrecy. One of those is salah or night prayer. No one knows of those unless you go talk about them. The next one is, do more deeds in private than you would ever do in public. Because you know what? If you only do 2 rak'ahs in the masjid and people see you, that's going to bolster your riyah. But if you pray 200 rak'ahs at home and you only do 2 in the masjid, it's not even going to hit your mind, the riyah. So do more ibadat, more worship in privacy than you would do in public. The next one is, know and keep in mind what you're doing this for. Why are you doing ibadah? For the life after. To preserve you in the life after. So when you're doing it for the life after, you get your reward to it. If you do it for people, they're going to talk about you, they're going to think good of you, and that's about it. You do it for the life after, Allah will be happy with you, and Jannah will be your reward. Keep that thought in mind always. So, I mean, also in keeping that thought in mind, you say to yourself, who's that person, human being, just like me and him, that I would want to please or make him think of me better? Big deal. Who is he? Who does he think he is? You go for a bigger goal. You go for Allah and the Jannah. The next one is friendship. Have good friendship, because when you have good friendship and they're good and they read like 2 juz of Quran and you only read half a juz, there's not going to be no riyah there. Not only that, they help you kill riyah by other means as well. That's about it on that matter. Anyone have any questions? Okay, let me add one more point, and this is an obvious point, this is an important point. People who leave deeds for riyah. You know what? You go to the mosque and you say, should I pray the 2 rak'ahs or not? Because I think people are looking at me and riyah may come to me. I'm not going to pray them. Should you do that? Leaving deeds for riyah. Leaving deeds in that particular situation is from the devil. Because the devil's going to come to you and tell you everything is riyah, and you'll leave everything. So if that happens to you, what you do is fight your struggle. In your heart, try to fight it, that this is for the sake of Allah, and get up and do it. Ibrahim al-Nakha'i, a big scholar, said, if the shaitan comes to you before or during salah, and he says you're doing riyah, or people are looking at you, or prolong it, then make it longer. Make it longer, why? To try to kill that feeling within you. Make it longer and fight that temptation. Some of the scholars in the past, like for example, some of the Sahaba and after them, when someone walked in and they're reading Quran, they would take away the pages so no one will see them. That's for something you could do later. For example, you're sitting here and you could do it later on, and you fear riyah, and you have the exact same time to do it later on. It's merely reading Quran. You're going to do those 2 pages later on anyways, or you could do them later on. Okay, prolong it. But if it's something that only be done at that time, like the 2 rak'ahs of Dhuhr, and you're in a masjid before Dhuhr, then you should pray them and fight that temptation. If it's something you can delay, for example like Quran, then you have the option of either fighting your temptation or doing it when no one is around. With that we end it. Wa sallallahu